Welcome to the Hometown Gym Podcast, the place where we teach parents and those new to fitness the best practices of physical health so that you can have the ability to run around and keep up with your kids and grandkids, and so that you can smile when you look at yourself in the mirror, and most importantly, that you live a pain-free, happy, and long life. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hometown Gym Podcast. This is your host, Brandon, talking to you tonight here, 8:45 p.m. on a Wednesday. And tonight I am super excited to share the secret and the tool that I've utilized in the past for losing weight. And in my opinion, this is probably the number one greatest nutrition tool that I used in order to supplement my weight loss in the past, and even something that I'll still use for today. We're going to be going over how to do flexible nutrition, or more notably, how to count your macros is what this is more commonly referred to. All right. A couple of notes about today's shows. We're going to be doing a bunch of math. And for those of you who don't enjoy math, maybe like I do, don't worry about it. I'm going to have all the calculations down below in the summary notes. So all you'll need to do is plug them into a calculator and later into MyFitnessPal as we go forward. All right. I used MyFitnessPal to track everything that I would eat, and you're going to need to do that or use some other application in order to make sure that this is going to work. All right. One of the things that I would suspend if I'm you is just any assumption about how many calories is high or low. If you're anything like me, chances are you have no idea how many calories that you are consuming on a daily basis, and it's near impossible to calculate anyone's individual thermodynamic output without some crazy scientific machine or monitor or something like that. And so what I would say is suspend any of those assumptions. Chances are you do not know how many calories that you're consuming. And we also need to give this some time to work. And I would suggest anywhere between about 2 to 3 months in order to see best results. And also remember, the flexible nutrition scheme, it works, and you can expect to lose anywhere between about 0.5 to 2 pounds of body weight on a weekly basis if we're utilizing this correctly. But you're probably not going to see as good of results if we were going to be in a Whole30 based nutrition scheme or animal based or paleo, something that's much more strict. You'll probably see better results in the short term if you're doing something like that. But the whole point of this, and for me, that was really nice, was this allowed me to make my nutrition program sustainable. I could do it over the long term. I could get flexibility as I needed to. If I wanted to go out to eat, I had some flexibility with that. If it was around the holidays, I didn't necessarily have to say no to dessert every single time where I was going to be coming up to that. So just a few side notes as we get started into this today. Again, make sure you download the MyFitnessPal application. You just need your phone in order to do all the tracking here. And you're also going to need a food scale. I've linked one below in the show notes that you can grab on Amazon for your ease. But you can also find this at your local Walmart or Meijer or other grocery superstore that's going to be near you. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in and get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. In step one, we're going to calculate our ideal protein intake. And this is a number that we're going to be using every single day. All right. All you need to do is take 0.8. You're going to multiply that by your body weight. And again, you don't need to write this down. Just scroll down. I've got this in the summary notes below, so that all you need to do is just plug and play with a calculator and eventually put this into MyFitnessPal for yourself. Again, you're going to take 0.8, multiply that by your body weight. If we use me for an example, I'm about 200 pounds. I'm going to take 200, multiply that by 0.8. I'm going to get a daily protein intake of about 160 grams that I'm going to be aiming to hit every single day, whether we're aiming to be in a caloric deficit or put our body in a catabolic state where we're attempting to lose weight, or we're going to be utilizing a refeed day. Step two, we're going to calculate our ideal calorie deficit. We're going to use a range for this. And this is something that we're going to use 5 days per week, or something that I use 5 days per week. And I would suggest that you use at least 5 days per week. I would do this on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wednesday and Sunday were refeed days. More on that in just a minute. In order to find our ideal calorie range, all we do is we're going to take 10, we're going to multiply that by our body weight, and then we're going to take 12 and we're going to multiply that by our body weight. If we use me for an example, that's going to be between 2,000 to 2,400 calories that I'm going to be aiming to consume on a daily basis. Our goal every day is to get somewhere in between that range. Keep in mind, as we're doing this, not every single day is going to be perfect. There might be one day where I consume 2,200 calories. There might be one day where I consume 2,435 calories. There might be one day where I consume 165 grams of protein and a different day where I consume 149 grams of protein. It's never going to be perfect. We're going to be adjusting this to get flexibility and to figure this out as we need to. Our goal is just to get as close as possible to that protein number into our ideal calorie intake. A couple notes on the range that we're going to be using. I do not suggest going any lower than taking 10 and multiplying that by your body weight. Hey everyone, quick break from the show. Our mission is to help as many people as possible increase their happiness and confidence when it comes to their physical appearance. By way of doing that, that also creates an awesome byproduct of bettering their physical health, which is going to increase their longevity as well. If you could take about 20 seconds, click the share button, that's the little up arrow in the podcast platform, and share this episode on your Facebook or Instagram page. That would allow us more opportunity to change someone's life. While it means the world to us, more importantly, it'll mean even more to the viewer who just happens to stumble upon your post or story. Thanks so much. Let's get back to the show. A lot of the common nutrition schemes have people at really, really low calorie intakes. And if we're constantly putting our body in a catabolic state, so meaning we're in a restrictive regimen and we do that for long periods of time, it's going to mess up hormonal function and actually your metabolism over the long term. Humans are meant to eat. We need to consume food in order to be healthy. If we didn't need to do that, we wouldn't need to consume food at all. So make sure at a minimum, you're going to be getting 10 multiplied by your body weight of calories on a daily basis. All right. Next, I'd like to calculate what percentage of our protein is going to make up our daily calories. If I take 160 grams of protein earlier, that's the amount of protein that we calculated that I needed. We're going to times that by 4. There's 4 calories in 1 gram of protein, and we're going to be getting 640 of our daily calories, or my daily calories, from my protein that I'm going to be eating on a daily basis. If we take 640 and we divide that by 2,200 calories, that's somewhere in the middle of my caloric range that I'm aiming for. We're going to get about 30% of my total calorie intake is going to be protein. All right. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to assign percentages to carbs and fats within our MyFitnessPal or whichever application you're going to use to track your food. All right. There's no hard rules here for identifying what percentage of carbs and fats you want to eat. It's subjective. It's going to be really flexible. And I want it to be that way so that you can fit in the foods that you enjoy eating. And someone who prefers to eat steak to chicken, they're naturally going to be consuming more fat than someone else who maybe prefers potatoes to broccoli, who will naturally consume more carbs. There's no wrong answer here. I want you to set this up to fit your lifestyle. So in the beginning, you might need to make some adjustments. When I did this in the past, I was about 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein. I think the 40-30 on carbs, fats, probably a good place to start. And you guys can adjust this to get flexibility as you need to. And again, it's more important that you fit in whatever foods that you want to eat on a daily basis. Typically, when we're going to be doing this flexible eating style, you're going to be eating somewhere between 80% of whole related foods. And then 20% is kind of where that break comes in, I think is kind of the sweet spot. So don't be afraid to adjust this and get flexibility as you need to support the eating lifestyle that you want to do. It's the whole point of this program. Step 5, we're going to calculate the calories that we want to use for refeed days. All right. Refeed days is sort of a controlled cheat day, a cheat day where we would not track anything, can drastically unwind a lot of the progress that we've made over the past week or so. But if we do this in a controlled state, all right, we're going to be getting the body out of a catabolic state, which is a good thing to do. So we're not constantly there for weeks or months on end. It's going to increase good hormone production like serotonin that's going to make you feel good. It's also going to give us a break from strict dieting, which is the whole purpose of flexible eating, which again is going to go to this sustainability factor, which we're hoping to create a habit for the long term. And once we get this weight off, that we're going to keep it off for the rest of our lives. Hey team, quick break from the show. At Hometown Gym, part of our mission is to give you time back in your day so you're not having to worry about, should I do cardio or strength in the gym, or What machines or movements should I do in my workout tomorrow? We want to do all that for you so you can spend as much time doing the things that you really love and spending time with your family. And new to Hometown Gym, we have nutrition programs and recipe packs. These guides include many recipes of high protein, 5 ingredient, and even gluten-free options to optimize your nutrition. Within our nutrition packs are also sample weekly nutrition programs, so the meals are planned for you. And we even provide grocery lists so you don't have to put any thought into this at all. What's even better is the meals are set up to feed a family of 4, so you're not having to create multiple meals for the family. If you'd like more information, travel over to hometown.gym.net to check it out. Let's get back to the show. How we calculate this is we're going to take our body weight, we're going to multiply that by 15, and then we're going to take our body weight, we're going to multiply that by 17. Using me as an example one more time, if I'm 200 pounds, my refeed calculations is going to be between 3,000 to 3,400 calories. All right. And every refeed day, that was Wednesday, Sunday for me, I'm going to be aiming to get my calorie intake somewhere right in between that range. And lastly, my protein number, that is not going to change. I'm still trying to hit 160 grams of protein for me on a daily basis, whether I'm refeeding or I'm in a restricted eating style of my nutrition scheme during the week. Step 6, this is the most key part. We need to implement this. All right. When I was using this, when I started this 10 years ago, and even when I utilize this, this is something I still use today. It's something I'm going to be using when we hit March, April timeframe. I would restrict my calories to 2,000 to 2,400 calories 5 times per week, twice per week on Wednesdays and Sundays. It would increase my intake to 3,000 to 3,400 calories for those 2 days. Some other notes on this nutrition scheme. I utilized intermittent fasting with this method. And if you missed that episode, it was the first thing that I did to kind of unwind our Nutrition 101 series. Go back to episode 6, give that a listen. Intermittent fasting for me really allowed me to make restricted eating much more sustainable for me. So go check that out if that's something that you also want to utilize while you're going to be attacking this. I strongly suggest it. Lastly, stay tuned as we wrap up the Nutrition 101 series. My last note here is to eat 2 to 3 large meals during the day and avoid snacking like the plague. Stay tuned more on that episode as we kind of get in the science behind why we would want to do that. And as always, if you have any questions, please email me at info@hometown.gym.net. I would love to hear from you. And I know your time is super valuable. So wherever you're watching or listening, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. I know you're busy within your life, whether you're a parent or working your job or whatever it is you're doing. Thank you so much for doing that. Again, it's almost 9 o'clock here on a Wednesday night. And again, wherever you're watching, listening, thank you so much for dropping in at Hometown Gym. We'll see you next time.